Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to 15 Good Minutes. It's your guy, Coach B. As always, I'm here with the A-team. How we doing out there today, JR?
Everything's good over here, man. We just hanging.
I got you. Freddie, how you doing, sir?
Pretty good on yourself?
Today, what I want to do, I want to talk about some things that help our audience understand a little bit more about how we consume sports. And I'm going to turn this into a couple different directions. But I want to start off with something that we were just talking about off air before we came on, right? So briefly, each one of us is going to explain how we consume not just sports primarily, right, GR, but how do we consume media? So I'll start with you.
I will say that I am now a streamer, unfortunately. I can't really get the sports that I want when I'm streaming. And when I buy a certain package, like the MLB package, most of the games I want to watch, they consider blackout rule. So I don't get to watch them anyway. So I may end up going back to cable.
All right, Freddie, how do you consume?
DirecTV stream, that gives me a bunch of sports channels. Basically, everything that's on national networks, TNT, TBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN. And then I have another option that provides me. I'm not going to give you guys a name. If you want to, get the direct name, reach out.
You're talking about your adult channels.
Oh, no.
I know exactly what he's talking about. If you want to know where he's getting his super duper deals from, you got to drop us a line in Twitter or in the comments.
Exactly. And, where it's much more affordable for all sports, for everything.
That makes sense. I'm pretty basic. I have a cable package, a no fooling cable with Xfinity for most things. And one of the things that they do now too, and I don't think it's just them, I think other cable providers do, they give you the ability to watch their content when you're away, which is good. Like, if I travel, for example, I can log into my Xfinity account, and what I see there is the exact same channel guide, the programs, all of those things I can watch from pretty much anywhere in the world. And then I do a little bit of streaming with the Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus stream, that bundle right there, right? And the reason that I wanted to get a better idea of how you guys view is because I want to talk a little bit about entertainment in sports specifically and how you feel about it. As an example, last year, you guys have probably watched Monday Night Football. Well, ESPN has a spinoff channel with the Manning brothers at the same time. Were you a fan of that spinoff? What did you think of it? And does it help the way you consume Monday Night Football?
Me personally, I absolutely hated it. I felt that little spinoff with the Mannings, I felt that was really more so to benefit Eli to get him a Hall of Fame bid, personally. If you're a football fan and you're watching Monday Night Football, I don't think you really tuned in to see who's going to be on.
I didn't watch it. I've seen it. I didn't stay and watch it though. I'm like, I believe like Freddie. I'm not so much if it was for a Hall of Fame bid or whatever, but it was like he was trying to create a niche for Eli, for him to step into something.
Right.
Okay. I just believe football is going to be football. You ain't got to say nothing else about it. If it's your team, and even if it's not your team, people going to watch it. I believe the older man, he's a funny dude. You know what I'm saying? So
I do. I'm with probably more with JR on this one than Freddie. I don't think it has anything to do with a Hall of Fame thing. I think they want Eli to be funny like Peyton, and you're not. And here's the thing. I mean, entertainment, there's no shame in it, but you got to have a camera presence. You have to have some type of presence. And Peyton has been that way for eons.
Throughout, yes.
When the first time he hosted Saturday Night Live and he started beating them kids up on the football field, that's who he is. If the show did not have Eli in it, would you watch it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think
Freddie?
so.
No. What else is on Monday night? during September through December. What else is on Monday nights?
I'm thinking, guys, that they may have been trying to bring other people in to the to become fans. I don't know. I'll tell you, I didn't watch it either because I don't like distractions. But what they did a good job of, in my opinion, was when they would tell you early on who the various guests were going to be on there. And when I knew that, sometimes I would cut over. At times, if they didn't have a really good guest like LeBron or somebody, it felt forced, if that's the right word. It felt like, like they didn't know what to say. So they didn't get into the whole thing where, Peyton's eating salad and how much salad does he eat at a time. And it for me, it took away from the game. But so keeping that in mind, the reason I asked you guys that is because now going ESPN again, Sunday Night Baseball, they do this thing called K-Rod now on ESPN2. So they take a famous New York Yankees announcer, Michael Kay, and they take Alice Rodriguez, and they're on ESPN2, and they're doing the same thing. Have either of you seen that yet? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Freddie, have you seen it?
I have not.
I'm an Alex fan. So I gave this one more points than the Monday Night Football thing with Eli, but I don't like my sports interrupted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before where I think just talking about announcers for a little bit. Sometimes I think that they talk too much. Sometimes I feel that they have a sense of, I must say something.
Yeah.
So when you're on radio, you have to broadcast because you're that person's eyes who can't see that. So you have to be able to articulate what the weather's like, whether he slid in feet first, whether he dove so that the person listening can visualize it. But in television, I don't think that we need that. So
Nope.
How do you feel about just in general, the announcers and whether it's color commentary, right, or the play-by-play guy in your favorite sport? You okay with the amount of it? You like to see more, like to see less?
I don't even listen necessarily to the commentators. I'm pretty much watching the field or the court. Now, the one thing I do hate is, whether it's a basketball game or NFL game, or specifically basketball games, to where, your team and that player, a certain player in a tight moment, he is at the foul line and he shoot. Oh, so and so is made 28 straight free throw, and I was like, damn. Why?
You talking about the jinx?
And the next thing you miss it. I'm like, I don't like that. Or so and so has thrown 39 straight passes without an interception, and then it's picked off. I hate that. But I don't necessarily like really listen to the commentators because I'm watching the field of play.
Listening to the radio, back in the day, that's all people had. And when these guys had to make up something, you have to appreciate that because you had nothing to see. You understand? Now, the play-by-play guy, I don't mind so much. The color guys are the guys that get on my nerve, especially the ones that are on a dude's nuts. I mean, they're just praising this one, and I'm like, dude, just be quiet. We don't need to know all of that. We know what he's doing. We can see his stats.
Mm-hmm.
But you got some guys that they're color guys, and they like, let's just say Mike Trout. I mean, there's more people on the team than Mike Trout. We know he's great. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes they'll start talking about, we had a great time at dinner last night. I went out with such as
certain sports, JR, for me, it bothers me more than others. Tennis. I'm a big tennis fan, and I don't like haterade. And I'm going to just say it here. I think Chris Evert still thinks that she's God's gift to tennis. And there's a lot of young women out there that are just crushing it. So, and especially, tell me I could be a little bit off, especially when it comes to the Williamses.
Oh, yeah.
Always felt like she had it in for them, and I never understood why. So no matter how good they were playing, there would be some little jab. You had to listen for it. There'd be a little dig at the end. And don't let them have a bad day. She starts saying, well, maybe they didn't get enough rest, or maybe they did that. Shut the hell up, lady. Ain't nobody asked you that. And boxing is the other one. There are certain sports to me, I really just want to hear the sounds of the game. This whole line of questioning comes up because I'm seeing more entertainment in sports.
Yes.
The E and ESPN is for entertainment. And so as an older person, I think it's just going to come upon me. I got to get used to it. It's not changing, but I'm seeing more and more fluff in it, more and more talking. Sometimes, JR, there's two color guys on the mic, depending upon what the sport is and whether it's a playoff.
I do believe it's becoming more and more entertainment. Stephen A. Don't get me wrong. I love Stephen A. I think he's a good dude. I like Jalen and everything, but they're bringing an entertainment base that might bring the bang with the three.
Oh yeah, that's classic. Come on, man.
So but yeah, it is what it is. But yes, I definitely see the entertainment portion in Mark Jackson. Mama, there goes that man.
That man again.
Hand down, man down.
Exactly. So the entertainment part, you're right. I definitely see it a lot more.
There's certain things that have been done to make viewing a game better. Like I thought the XFL back in the day was laughable, but what they did,
they got it right.
They brought a camera into the huddle that the NFL uses now. I like that. And if you remember, you go back recently to the NCAA championship games, they use a system that you see at racetracks, JR, where they put a camera on a rail on the sideline. And as you're going up the court, it's moving with you from ground level, which is a pretty cool view. That kind of technology that helps you experience that game differently, I think is spot on. But I don't think that anything is gained from over talking during something, or like Freddie said, explain the obvious and then maybe putting the jinx on somebody, when they go in there. There have been times in certain cases, depending upon how irritated I get with them, like in case of tennis, I just turn it off. Yeah. Turn the volume down and just.
I turn the volume off. Yeah.
But I'm wondering now if this is going to be a new thing. Like if you were watching some sporting event on CBS, does their CBS Sports affiliate now going to show you some other angle of what you're watching, if that makes sense? So I think it's a sign of the times.
It may be, but it's like you say, though, you're interrupting the game. I mean, and you're fighting it with your own ratings, A
lot of it is about ratings. That's a good point. I'll leave it there. That's good content. I will say this, though. I think, and you have to help me out here, JR, the question of the week is coming from JR. It has a lot to do with entertainment and sports.
What do you think about the Fan Control Football League? Is it watchable? Does ex-NFL players involved give it any type of legitimacy?
FCF.
Right now is where they have Terrell Owens and Johnny Manziel playing.
Yeah, I'll let the audience weigh in. I did see a clip of that on Sports Center last week. I won't share my reaction. I will wait for them. So are you a fan of FCF is the question of the week. Once you guys weigh in on that, if you've seen it, great. Or if you haven't, or even if you haven't, what are the thoughts on it? Taking some has-beens, I shouldn't slant it. Taking some former players and putting them in some type of league like that.
Yeah, you can't put that back in your mouth. You know that.
You can let us know. Follow us on Twitter at 15 Good Minutes, or also on YouTube at 15 Good Minutes. We'd love to hear what you guys think about that. That's all we got for this week, gentlemen. Anything before we break?
Not up for he.
What's the objective of the Fan Control Football League? What is the objective?
That's what we're going to find out. We hope.
I mean, okay.
Lights, cameras, entertainment.
Copy that. See you next week.
All right, out.